The suspect in the robbery and killing of a 22-year-old student in Dasmariñas, Cavite has been arrested. The camp of Arnie Teves hits out at authorities for placing the suspended Solon under trial by publicity. And officials conduct inspections at terminals ahead of the influx of passengers on Holy Week. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with preparations for the Holy Week Exodus. For updates, we have with us Elaine Fulgencio, live from Quezon City. Elaine, can you tell us the latest situation?
Riza, the Land Transportation Office conducted a surprise inspection at various bus terminals earlier today. This comes ahead of the influx of passengers returning to provinces on Holy Week. LTO Chief J.R. Tugadi said they will only allow buses that pass inspection to make trips to the provinces. Bus drivers and conductors also underwent drug testing and alcohol breath analyzer. One bus driver admitted to using illegal drugs, but he refused to confirm this through a drug test. The driver might face revocation of his license and will be turned over to the police authorities. The LTO is now under heightened alert status until April 10 to ensure security of commuters. Let's hear more from Tugade.
Hindi lang po buhay nung nagmamaneho nakataya po dito, pati po yung mga buhay ng yung mga pasahero po. Tsaka naulit ko nga po, yung mga bata at matatanda po, di ba? So, kailangan lang po talaga tiyakin po natin na roadworthy, safe po yung gagamitin pong sasakyan po.
Riza, as of the moment, the situation here in Araneta City Busport is still normal. Tickets are still available, and the management said that the travelers are expected to flock by Wednesday next week. Riza?
Thank you for those updates. That's Elaine Fulgencio live from Quezon City. Meanwhile, progressive group Bayan slams the Supreme Court's decision to junk a petition against train fare hike. Bayan Secretary General Renato Reyes Jr. said the dismissal is bad for commuters as this could pave the way for more fare increases. Reyes questioned the former Department of Transportation and Communications Authority to raise fares in the absence of an independent regulatory body. On Friday, the Supreme Court and Bank junked the 2015 petition that changed the approval of MRT and LRT base fare adjustments to 11 pesos. The High Court said it found that the DOTC code substantially complied with the notice and hearing requirements for the said fare hike. Motorists may expect an increase in prices of petroleum products on Holy Week. Unioil Philippines projects per liter prices of diesel products could go up by up to 50 centavos. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to increase by as much as 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. An industry source attributes the possible hike to the return of a tight balance in supply and demand. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Police authorities have arrested the suspect in the Cavite student robbery slay case. The PNP said Angelito Erlano was arrested during a hot pursuit operation at 10:40 in the morning today. The police earlier found the clothes believed to be worn by Erlano during the crime and the victim's backpack bag inside the suspect's home. Graduating student Queen Leanne Deginsin was fatally stabbed inside her dormitory in Dasmariñas, Cavite on March 28. The camp of suspended Congressman Arnie Teves calls on the government officials to tread carefully with their statements. This came after the Justice Department said the Degamo Slay case is almost solved after arresting one of the alleged masterminds. Teves' lead counsel, attorney Ferdinand Topacio, noted that trials should happen in courts and not before the public. The congressman is being tagged as one of the possible masterminds in the murder.
To the leaders, to the heads of our departments, the ILG, DOJ, do not make any precipitate statements. Kasi kahit ano pong sabihin ninyo, if it will not stand up in court, hindi po solved yan. Hindi kami humingi ng special treatment. Pero sana, patas lang. Walang bias, walang prejudice.
Meanwhile, Degamo family lawyer attorney Levito Baligod welcomed the arrest of one of the alleged masterminds. Baligod said that they have been wanting the person to get arrested as he is a main player in the case. DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla said details on the developments of the case will be disclosed on Monday.
Mula nung nahuli yung sinasabi ni Secretary Remulla ay natuwa kami dahil yan po ang isang pinipilit naming mahanap at maaresto, no? Dahil siya kasi yung inutusan ng masterminds na mag-recruit at mag-organize ng mga assassins, no? We are hoping na pagka nag-cooperate siya ay babanggitin niya kung sino yung masterminds.
With a Hollywood movie, TV series, and various updates coming, role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons could become a money-making franchise. Let's watch this.
On the eve of its 50th birthday, Dungeons and Dragons has never been more popular. The granddaddy of fantasy role-playing games is currently enjoying a cultural renaissance. Thanks in part to its prominent depiction in Netflix's hit series Stranger Things, D&D has minted a new generation of dice-slinging fans, D&D themed podcasts, Twitch shows, and D&D influencers on YouTube and TikTok. While few games have enjoyed the kind of multi-generational influences D&D, the corresponding business has often struggled over the years to live up to its potential, leaving in its wake not great fortunes, but instead a long legacy of infighting, litigation, and squandered opportunities.
Tonight we begin with a story about make-believe adventure and real-life violence, and what some critics fear is a connection between the two in a game called Dungeons and Dragons.
Throughout the 1980s, evangelical Christian groups frequently accused D&D, with its spells of magic, ornate bestiaries, and horned deities, as being a plaything of the devil, making it difficult for the game's owners to turn it into a family-friendly mainstream brand. Now Hasbro, the giant toy company that owns D&D, is hoping that the business side of the game can finally catch up with its cultural prowess. Over the next year, Hasbro will be unleashing some major D&D brand extensions, aiming to rake in more money from D&D's swelling fanbase. The streaming service Paramount Plus is currently developing a live-action D&D series. In August, Baldur's Gate 3, the latest sequel in a popular series of video games based on D&D, is scheduled to go on sale. And sometime next year, Hasbro is expected to release One D&D, the next iteration of the classic game, this time with a whole new suite of digital enhancements. Most importantly, on March 31st, Hasbro's E1 Studio and Paramount will be releasing Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, a big-budget, CGI-laden Hollywood spectacle. For the D&D movie to succeed, it not only has to produce big numbers this spring, but also spawn the kind of long-living entertainment franchise that Hasbro has enjoyed with Transformers. Since 2007, the 6 Transformer films based on its Warrior car toys have generated close to $5 billion in theater ticket sales. Hasbro hopes that this time around, D&D fans will embrace the movie and everything else coming down the pipeline. If they do, after 50 years, D&D may finally live up to its business potential.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again tomorrow as we monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.